I was just researching the news or viewing the news, and I came across this picture in the news. Uh, and I don't like to get involved with people's family problems. That's not the purpose of this video. But if you're interested in it, the title's right there. You can find it if they haven't taken it down. And it was just sad to me for a lot of different reasons. Because I will speak on Jackie Chan, but when you think of Jackie Chan, he comes across as a guy that cares. I watched his interviews, and he's been in one of the greatest action films of all times. This is a man that really studied under Bruce Lee because they made movies together. So why he studied. Bruce Lee was like his idol, just like we just found out that Roxanne Shante was Nas's idol when he was little. So they're homeless because they're gay. So a lot of times in life, everybody has an opinion, but very few people actually want to get the truth. And I know that. But unfortunately, without the truth, you wouldn't have any of that. So God's always going to make sure somebody's on this planet with the truth, regardless of who doesn't like it, thinks they got 2 cents, looks for every reason not to listen to what the person's saying. But we can't worry about those people because that's between them and God. But we have to do what God says. Now, I remember when I was a garbage man, we had an Asian family on the route. And this is a long time ago, just so you know. This was a long time ago. But a lot of that is still me. It's just more mature. Because I was just a young guy, but just like I was doing, but I was actually out there saving the world. I was in everybody's neighborhood. I didn't care if you were KKK. I didn't care who you were. I was in your neighborhood knocking on your door telling you about God. And I came across an Asian family. They had threw out their garbage. But they threw out a picture of their daughter in her wedding dress with her husband. And her husband, I guess, was a white guy, if I remember correctly. It was definitely a white guy because it wasn't 2 Asians. And the daughter was definitely Asian. So I don't know what was going on with that situation. But a wedding is supposed to be like probably one of the happiest days of the female's life. And it's a sacred day. So I was just wondering, do you really want to throw these pictures out? Is this some emotional thing? Do you really want to throw these pictures out? So I left the picture. I took everything but left those pictures. And whenever we leave anything, the people can call and they make us go back and get it. But I was willing to take that risk. I was willing to come back. But I just wanted them to think, is this what you really want? Regardless of the situation, it's still your family. So when I came back the next week or whatever, I came back, those pictures were never out there ever again. So either they took those pictures or they threw them out somewhere else. But I don't know. Because it's sad. See, things are different. Each thing is different. That's a choice they made that unfortunately you may not agree with it, but you have to learn to live with it. It's still your daughter. And it's an embarrassment to you that your daughter, she's only 18, that she has to come on YouTube and tell people that. So that I don't agree with, nor do I understand. Now, sometimes you have family members that are just a-holes. They've attacked you, they've lied on you, they've made your life a living hell. And not saying it was all bad, but it just seems like they live for drama. And it's always got to fall on your lap. And you're always the cleanup man in the back. Because the 13th son had these problems with his family, and him and his brother. His brother went to a grave, and the 13th son was saying we never got to reconcile. But see, I'm a little bit bigger than that. You're always reconciled because you can never not be unreconciled with your blood. You're in the third dimensional matrix. But the trick is to make it out of this matrix without getting pulled into the bullshit. And that's what the Garden of Eden was all about. Your trick was to obey God so you can ascend higher. But he chose to go low. And in going low, he took his whole bloodline, his whole creation into sin and got kicked out of the garden. And now they would need some type of mediation to get back to God. And that mediation would take thousands and thousands of earth years. So with me, there is a fine line. This is just a case of her making a decision she don't agree with. And what I'm trying to say, I remember somebody told me a long time ago, you know how certain people can get very angry and mean with their own family, you know, talk real loud, tell you you're a disgrace and all that. That's verbal abuse, and it's bordering more serious abuse. And I have a close associate who is like that, can really fly off the handle. And on my worst day, one of the worst days in my recent life, when I went to see that person, I guess I caught them on a bad day or something, but they basically, I walked out there feeling like pure shit. And one of the other visits I had with that person, his family, all his people were in there. And another guy came in that I knew, and because we were people of color, they treated us like garbage. And both of us, I was a member of the Deliverance Temple that he became the pastor of, and I was also ordained by the same female pastor that ordained him. So you have two ordained men of God, and they're treating us like two niggers, like really bad. So that left a bad taste in my mouth, and you know it really hurt because I never talked about it, and I talk about everything. So then that followed up with my next visit, where this guy really, he even said, I'm not gonna, bad. You can't just walk in off the street. I said, who's walking in off the street? I said, you've known me for 25 years and shit. He said, it doesn't matter. So he was just a mean, and I knew he could be mean, but that was the meanest I ever saw that man. Just unbelievably mean, like heartless. And I knew, you know, other than that, he really helped people. He's a great guy, so I don't know if he was just having a bad day or maybe people really took his kindness for weakness and he had just changed. But this is the man that's kept me alive for over 25 years, so I kept my mouth shut. But I didn't want to go back. So I was hoping I didn't have to go back to him. But everything worked out that I had to go back. But when I went back to see him, then he was back to the doctor. I knew it was about a 6-month difference. Yep, 6-month difference. And he was back to the loving doctor that I knew him to be. So I did pray for this situation. See, this is the difference because you can believe what you want, but she has a choice to make with her life. And there's no way I could ever do that to my own daughter. That's something I could never understand. So it's my hope that the pressure will be put on him to be more of a parent. She's only 18. And it's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. Okay? For all you people yelling at people because they got to be on their test. That's a disgrace to put your daughter out at 18, that your daughter has to come online and tell the whole world that this facade you're talking about communism and defending China and all this stuff you do. But in your own house, you put your daughter out in the street, that she's got to come out and do that. So I pray for this couple, that God gets them a home. And I pray that her father learns how to be a dad and a man. This is Get. God bless.